Hi there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Everyone happy this week because there's no Spurs game to ruin it for us. We've just got international. So what better way to spend the international break than chatting to these two guys, doing a stream, chatting to you guys on the stream and talking about Conte and how things are going and how things are likely to go. Two guests today, both regulars. Eugene, how you doing?
Doing fine, all's well. Right, international break, so we just sit back, relax, and wait for the Conte effect.
Yeah, and at Spurs Eurasian TV, just give yourself a little plug there, where
Spurs
people
Vision
can find
TV.
it. It's in the description anyway.
Yeah, Spurs Vision TV on YouTube, you'll find me, right, usually doing 2 shows a week, one on Wednesday, usually it's the midweek show. That usually starts about 2 p.m. GMT, right, and of course we have our Spurs Vision specials, right, that we do on Sunday. But this Sunday, I don't think I'll be doing a show today because since it's international break and I'll be taking a break, right? Haven't had a break since some time. Been streaming, I think, for about 6-7 weeks or 8 weeks straight, or maybe more than that. Maybe 5. I can't remember. We've been streaming it's been 40 episodes and we haven't had a rest. So Spurs Vision TV, international break, we're taking a rest this Sunday. We'll be back again next Wednesday, and then of course we'll be back again the following week when Leeds play us at home.
Excellent. If anyone deserves a rest from streaming, it's the person who does 10-hour streams every weekend. And Brian, regular as well, but the first time in a while that Brian's doing a stream back in Canada. How are you finding Canada? How are you finding Canada? How you found being back in Canada?
I absolutely get me out of here. No, I'm
sausage roll.
So, don't talk, mate. I can't believe I missed getting a great sausage roll. I'm killing myself about that. I really am. But I had enough curry, so that weighs that back into a better weight. Being back in Canada is great. The jet lag has been okay, but I have a cat that wakes me up at 6 a.m. every morning, so he hasn't really helped. It's prolonged it. It's good to be back. It's really good to be back with my wife. I miss England dearly. But only for the people in it, not the country. I love my life out here, so it's all good to be back. And just want to say a very special hello to Mr. I have 58 billion screens and watch every stream going on the planet in Mr. Wayne Bonner. I swear, I didn't get to meet him, but I swear to God, if Cribs came round and did a tour of his house, it would just be rooms with loads and loads of computers and laptops and screens everywhere, because he is everywhere and I love him dearly.
Yep.
And just quickly, Brian, Tottenham on Tour, your YouTube channel, quick plug, if people don't know where it is.
So, we've got 2 Brians tonight. We've got Rez from Shoutout Spurs and maybe a couple of the other guys. Chris, we've got to get you on. We've got you on the Greatest 11. We'll have to get you actually on one of the podcasts.
Yeah, definitely.
The time difference is like 10 at night, sometimes midnight. So obviously it may not be time conducive, but we'll flex to that. But Brian Ireland and I are actually having our first official board meeting today. Where we're discussing the new stuff we want to bring, because thankfully from my stint in We Are Tottenham TV and obviously my part in Levy, the channel grew like 400 subscribers like in the time I was away, and most of it the last 2 weeks since the Nuno out or Levy out chance started. So we've got so many ideas for shows, but we didn't want to put them into practice till. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and And if anyone is a group of the Odera FASA, which I invited you into, Eugene, Chris, are you on?
Yep, we're there.
Yes.
Right. Add me as a friend, and I'll join you to this very, very, very good group, which Eugene will have for. Do a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Very on my side of Tottenham and a certain chairman's position. So I'll invite to that. Expect a big announcement on their Facebook page.
Yeah. Quick question for you, Brian. What time's your stream on tonight? I'm assuming Wayne's talk about UK time there.
Okay, so I haven't realised that, but we're going to go pretty much straight after or within the half hour of the England game finishing.
Excellent.
What time is England playing tonight?
Is it 7:45 or 8?
It'll be one of the two. I didn't even know they were playing, to be perfectly honest.
Well, mate, it is only San Marino or Albania. So, but whenever England play Albania, it always reminds me of it's when Paul Gascoigne scored his first goal for England, when he ran from the halfway line and literally took on the whole team and then just put it in the bottom corner. So, whenever I hear England Albania, that's all that I think of. So hopefully Gascoigne will score tonight. He probably could. He probably could.
Yeah, so definitely check those 2 streams out. Thanks, everybody watching and in the comments. Make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe. You've got the notification bell there, so that will give you a notification when we're about to go live. Carl Simpson. Hey, Carl. Thanks for getting in touch. I'm good, thanks. Hope you're well too. And Wayne has said, for the first time in a long time, happy for an international break so Conte can get to work on most of our players. And what Wayne's done there is segued nicely into the show. So Eugene Conte has been in charge 2 games. I think it's about 2 weeks, possibly not quite 2 weeks. Slightly annoying that he's got some of the players on an international break, but like Wayne says, a lot of them are still there. How do you judge his start so far? Obviously, it's very difficult with only 2 games, but 4 points, 1 point in the league, 3 in the Conference League. But yeah, how do you judge his start so far?
I couldn't expect much from him. I mean, just coming in 2 days or maybe 36 hours before the Vitesse match, right? And then he played the team that he played, which surprised a lot of us. But it turned out okay in the end. So I guess at the moment now, what Conte is doing, he's testing out the players, feeling out how far he can push them, right? And then we had the Everton game, which he played the same starting 11 that he played at Vitesse. And of course, we got a clean sheet. Okay, it was against Everton. Everton wasn't that fantastic anyway going forward, right? So we'll give him time, right? I've been saying all this while. Conte's just arrived, right? He's not even been here for 10 days yet. No, sorry, I mean, he was here last week, more or less about 11 days or so, right, at the moment. And now he's got the international break. I got this inkling feeling is that if he's with this group of players that's left behind, and if he can get a tune out of them, don't be surprised the Leeds game, there'll be a lot of changes in the team. A lot of changes in the first team, right? So let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. For me, I'm a wait and see guy, right? There are too many scenarios or narratives that has to be played out, right? Whether our squad is good enough, right? Because we've been slating our squad for the past 3 years, they're not good enough, right? So don't expect Conte to come in 2 weeks and turn them into all superstars and all that, right? So let's see how it goes. And like I said, end of year comes, January transfer window comes. That's the big test. That's when the big test, all right? So let's see how it goes.
Mark Swift put a comment. Don't worry, we won't say anything. Eugene Bryan,
Your secret's safe with me. Us.
Carl Simpson has said he thinks it's been okay so far. Let's face it, 1 Premier League game he's made us look more solid. Now he needs to get the attacking sorted. Do you agree with that, Brian? We definitely looked a lot more solid, and we had a 5-10 minute spell after the penalty appeal where we were under the cosh, which under Nuno we'd have conceded the goal there, and we rode that out and then had a few attempts ourselves. But yeah, do you agree with Carl there? And what do you think of his start so far, Conte?
So I'll start on Cole's comment and then obviously go back to Wayne's comment about the international break. So I completely, totally agree with him. Cole is bang on the money. And the reason he's bang on the money is, last year, it's our first draw. We're here in November and it's our first draw. And we kept our first clean sheet since the first 3 games of the season in the Premier League. And actually, it might have been in total. Oh, no, Mura didn't score against. Yes, he did. Bloody hell, it might have been half. Jesus Christ. It is our actual first clean sheet. Jesus Christ, how bad is that? How bad is that? But, oh no, Burnley, my bad. I thought it was too good to be true.
Certainly in the league.
So, yeah, definitely in the league. And that's, well, listen, we have the greatest strikers. They just need to find their form, especially one, Harry Kane. But we kept a clean sheet. And the defence looked solid with Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, who deserved a lot of credit from that game. A lot of credit, because that's what they had to do. And it has only been 1 game. It has only been 1 game. And like Wayne said, I don't think we could have picked a better time for Conte to come in, because now he's got like a mini pre-season with everyone. He's even given the people that have gone away a fitness regime to do on top of their training. So when they come back, it's not like, you've been on international, I want you this fit. So he gets to see, the way I said it on Eugene's show on Wednesday was, what he's got now is, but when we all are employed, like Mark Swifty, if his boss sees, you're on a verbal, a written warning, a final written warning, you're out the door. And that's basically where a lot of these players are now. They're at the final written warning, out the door kind of scenario. And Conte has these 2 weeks to sit down with them and say, right, this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm going to play. This is what we're going to, because it's not just on the training pitch they'll be monitored. He will have eyes everywhere, whether it's their conduct off the pitch, their attitude, their passion, everything. So, shh, I'll speak like this. So it all comes down to how players react to him in this 2-week period. Like, obviously Højbjerg's not there, but if he was there, you know exactly how he would respond. He would give 110%, do everything would be fine. It's people like Dele, it's people like Harry Winks, it's people that we know have been there for a long time that need to get out. It's how they respond to him. And we'll see. But yeah, having him right now, and exactly like Wayne Bonner said, having the international break is probably the best bit thing that could have happened to us right now, because it does give him those 2 weeks. And we saw things on the Everton game already within like 2 training sessions that looked a world of difference. So let's see what happens against Leeds. It's a great team to play, actually, by the way, because they'll just come out, attack, full stop.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
Eugene Bryant's touched it on there with a fitness regime. He's brought with him Conte, not just vast experience, but 3 fitness coaches. And now he's banned ketchup as well. So I think the players, if they were under any illusions, aren't now that this guy means business and it's not just mess about time.
Yeah.
There's allegedly one coach is designed especially for Ndombele, but I mean, do you think it's the hard work starts now? Like Brian says, if they don't play ball, if they let their standards slip, even by 1%, they're going to be out the door by January, and he's not going to tolerate it. Or I mean, 3 fitness coaches. It looks like he's trying to get back to a kind of Pochettino style in the fact that we kept going right to the end, had so much energy, and that's why we scored a lot of late goals. But yeah, I know ketchup is obviously he's been told by his nutritionist there, but what do you think of that? 3 fitness coaches, maybe one exclusively for Ndombele and no ketchup.
No ketchup and no pineapple on pizza. Come on. The fitness coaches and all that coming in, I think Conte knows what he's doing, right? It could be no ketchup, no mayonnaise, no Coca-Cola, no fizzy drinks. No, it's just a health regime that he has to readjust their diets back to optimize their body. But everybody's body reacts differently to different kind of food intake you take in, right? If no ketchup for some might be able to do it, but there's a nutritionist coming in. Conte will know what to do because his system is very meticulous, right? He analyzes every little detail, right? And like you said, like Brian says, the rumor out there is that he's already given them a fitness regime that the players have to follow when they're on international break. A part of their training they have to follow that too. For all you know, Conte might have a spy inside the national teams, right, to make sure they do the physical training, right? You don't lie to me, if you didn't do it, right? I have people in there seeing you. So let's see. But don't forget, these guys going out for international break, like to South America and all that, like Brian, jet lag when they come back from all this flying in the distance and all that, right? And there's one thing that we keep forgetting, the injuries that might happen, right? That's what my worry is, the injuries that might happen. We have, I think, who is out? Romero, Sanchez. Is Sanchez gone off to Argentina? Romero Sanchez is in Argentina. Romero and Lo Celso is in Argentina. Sanchez has gone to Colombia. Son has gone off to South Korea, right? And most of them are scattered around Europe. And don't forget, the under 21s, Skippy is playing too, right? Skippy is playing too for the under 21s, for the junior teams and all that. There are a few scenarios that we have to look at the moment. But fingers crossed, none of them come back injured, right? But we'll have to see. Like tonight, England's game against Albania, it looks like a game that should more or less be written off. We should win it, but you never know, right? So, but I hope that let's hope Harry Kane goes out there banging a few goals, right? Gets his confidence back. So when he comes back to the league, he has that confident feeling again in him, right? That's what I hope for Harry Kane.
We'll talk about Kane in a bit, but yeah. I'm sorry, cut you off there.
No. It's okay. I'm done.
Barry Ambrose has asked, will Ndombele ever catch up? Possibly.
Very good. you put that up there, I read that and I thought he hasn't read it. He hadn't put the correct sentence in, but now that's very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Mark Swift likes ketchup. I could live with Conte's rule. I'm not a massive fan of ketchup at all.
I'm an HP guy myself.
Yeah, I'm a chili sauce guy.
But yeah, I think that's a good point, Eugene. Certainly with the players that are travelling a lot. But I think, like you said, Conte looks at every little detail. I don't think he'd have given a regime that is going to damage them in terms of getting them to do too much, knowing that it's probably a slightly different fitness regime for people like Son and the South Americans, because they are travelling so far, to someone like a Kane, for example. I read that Højbjerg's injured, so he's travelled with Denmark, but he won't play. But yeah, I mean, what do you think, Brian, with the 3 fitness coaches, no ketchup? Do you think that points to a fact that the players almost had the run of the asylum under Nuno? There'd have been rules, obviously, but no meticulous rules like this, and rules that sound a little bit silly, like no ketchup, but will make a difference at the top level. Do you think that Nuno wasn't that bothered about that, or didn't know about that, and Conte's just come in and looked at absolutely everything with a fine-tooth comb?
Well, you say Nuno didn't worry about it. Tom Huddleston told a famous story about when one day Ramos was involved and he banned all this kind of stuff, and they said, Tom Huddleston said, as soon as he left, we all had stuff with ketchup on and blah 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 blah. But they're like, literally, because they didn't see the benefit of it with what they were doing. Well, now I can kind of understand it with Ramos, because he weren't the greatest manager, didn't have any pedigree. You look at, I spoke about it the other day, when Arsene Wenger came in and he started this. Ian Wright has gone on countless documentaries and said when he first came in and did it, we didn't have a clue. We were like, what the hell is this Arsenal? Everyone was like Arsene who to begin with, even the Arsenal players. And they said when he did this, they're like, what the hell is he doing? But they gave it a go. They said within 3 months, they said they had never felt fitter, never felt better. And we're talking to people that were in the latter stages of their career as well. And they said the difference in them in games, they're like, Jesus Christ. And when you look at it from one day Ramos, I can kind of understand. He didn't learn the language. Let's face it, he didn't really know what he was doing. He shouldn't have been there in the first place, because that parasite sacked Martin Jol in the way he did. It still should have been Martin Jol's team.
I do feel sorry for Ramos in a sense that he came in,
but didn't he win a cup?
Yeah. Striker soul.
Yeah, I mean,
he won the league.
That wouldn't help, but that's down to a person we're not talking about right now.
I've
already mentioned his name once, and I don't want to mention it another 2 times because we know what happens. But then you look at when Antonio Conte comes in and says, "Right, I want to do this, I want to do that," and then you look at what Antonio Conte has achieved, and you know that he wins things regardless. And you've got to remember, he only stays at clubs for a short amount of time. And everywhere he goes, he's a serial winner. It's not he's there for 10 years and he wins 6 cups. He's there for 3 years, wins 3 cups, or 2 years and wins 1 cup. He wins stuff. So the players can't say, like, apparently they were getting annoyed at the end, saying, at the end of Pochettino's era, saying, listen, we're doing all this and we're getting nowhere with it. And that's why they started throwing their toys out the pram, because they kept coming. Thank you, sweetheart. My wife just made me a beautiful cup of tea, which I'm going to enjoy. So they started getting annoyed because of obviously the lack of silverware, the lack of whatever. That weren't just Poch's fault. That's what I've not mentioned his name, but that was that person's fault. Whereas this time they got Conte, and they know full well that this guy wins, and they need to do this. And like I said, with the 3 fitness coaches, the thing I love about that is I'm sure they're not 3 of the same fitness coaches. One of them will have a bigger expertise in recovery. One of them will have a bigger in nutrition. One of them will have a bigger. So when you look at those 3 fitness coaches, they're there for a reason. They follow him everywhere, and using them again brings the trophies that he wins. So I would have cared if he brought 28 fitness coaches. And I'm sure like people like Ndombele and Delhi might be concerned, but you've just got a big up for making me a nice cup of tea from Mark. So there you go. She's I'm all for it. Listen, let's face it, they need it. Since Poch, they've looked woefully out of shape. Out of shape. I mean, when you look at it, we thought there was a sizable increase under Nuno. We all were like, oh my God, they look fitter, yet they were still 20th in runs made, distance covered. So it just goes to show how looks can be deceiving. So having these people in is fantastic, and looking forward to it. I want to see Dele Alli, touch your cap if you're knackered, because I'm just get that done and get him out.
Right. He wouldn't have any energy to touch his cap.
Yeah, he'll be like,
it hurts. Yeah. And don't forget, one of the fitness coach nickname is the Marine.
Do you know what? I've just worked out. Actually, hopefully he's going to be making work so hard he'll be too knackered to pick up a controller to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get on to Dele a bit later on.
Or must we?
Well, I've got a banner that says prime candidates to be shown the door. So
they're fine.
I'm talking about a few players.
Let's talk Dele then.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about him now. Actually, prime candidates to be shown the door. For me, it's Dele. I think you mentioned it there, Brian. Fortnite. I think he's lost a love for football. He cares more about things like Fortnite and his endorsements. Very much reminds me of Pogba. So I think. I'm not sure Dele will take on board what the fitness coaches are saying and Conte is saying. And I always come back to that thing in the documentary when Jose said he was a shit trainer and he just laughed. I mean, that could be edited. He could have been laughing at a joke that someone made and they've just edited it. But if it is genuine and he does that with Conte will either run across the room and strangle him, or he'll just say to Levy, he's never playing for me again, get him out the door. But he's my prime candidate to leave. And Ndombele, if he can't... get to grips with the fitness could be another one. There's a few others. Wayne has said he'd love to see Tanganga under Conte and his regime. You can see him stepping up. Ali should have gone a long time ago. But I think if you ask most Spurs fans who do you think will be first out the door, I think a lot of people say Dele. But would you agree with that, Brian? And who else do you think is a prime candidate for out the door? Again, Carl, Dele has to go. Completely believes in his own hype. Shame it's not done. I do have a little bit of sympathy that when Eriksen left, he lost the person who created him space. Same with Dembele, but these things happen in football. You've got to adapt, and he just doesn't seem interested. But yeah, Ryan, I'll come to you first. Prime suspects to be shown a door under Conte in January.
So I was talking a lot about Dele. I'll mention another couple near the end, but people will know, Eugene will know for sure, because I've been saying this for about a year now. The whole time I've been saying Dele out the door, Dele out the door, Dele out the door. I've wanted him gone for a long time now. You liken him to Pogba. I liken him now to Adebayor, because he'll go somewhere, get another contract, be absolutely sensational for 2 years, get a huge contract, and then this will start again. Listen, when you say about he lost Eriksen, like you said, other players should go. Do you know what? Star players left, or one of the stars. I know I am a star, but now I've got a chance to be a bigger star. Yeah. So I'm now going to fill those shoes. I've got a chance really to, and he's kind of gone the other way. He came in like, I mean, when we signed him, I remember my best mate who's a gooner was going, ha, look at you buying people from the MK Dons in League One. I was like, mate, trust me, this kid, I've been watching him for a while. He is going to destroy the Premier League. It may take a year or whatever. He is going to come in, and he'll be in the England squad within a year and a half of him playing regularly for Tottenham. And he was like, okay, we'll put a bet on, and we always put bets on for curries, and he owes me 386 at the moment. So we see now. Look, when he came in, he did exactly what I said. He was absolutely incredible. And when we watched the first Spurs Arsenal game together, which he got man of the match in, it's the one where Harry Kane. It was the 1-1 when Danny Rose played that long ball, and we had the seatbelt kit. And he said, "Do you know what, mate? I'll gladly pay for this curry because he's just absolutely dominant." And he was superb. He was absolutely superb. For me, his downfall came when Moussa Dembele went. It weren't Eriksen, because when Moussa Dembele left, seeing that we didn't sign a replacement for him, we dropped him deeper. And when we dropped him deeper, you can't have a player that good in that position at that age and say, right, you're brilliant there, that's your best position. But now, because we can't get someone to fill in this position, we're going to have to take your strengths and work on your weaknesses here. And that's not how you should do it. When you've got a diamond, you put them in the right position. Football's like I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Harry Redknapp when he said football's an easy game. Just play 11 players in their best position. That's it. And obviously we dropped him deep. But then you look at his attitude. And you've got a chance to see his attitude over the last 3 years. I mean, the documentary did him no favours, especially when he's laying on an injury bench, talking about his 3 favourite chocolates. And I'm like, what? You're getting paid God knows how much money in the world You're sitting there recovering from an injury. Your form's shit, and you're joking about with the physios and everyone. Oh, and list your favourite 3 chocolates. I don't know. Let's list your 3 weaknesses and work on them to get them back where you were. His attitude stinks. Don't get me wrong. Dele Alli, the footballer, on fire, is superb. Is absolutely superb. But he's not there anymore. And the thing is, all this touch your forehead, or touch your cap, or let's go to Dubai and flash off my 6-pack, because a 6-pack is exactly what you need in football. I must check the stats for goals scored off of a 6-pack. I must be missing the case because everyone's supposed to, oh look, Dele's back, and he ran. Listen, people kept talking about how much ground he covered against Man City. Well done, you ran around a lot on a football. That's your job. Christian Eriksen used to be the top runner, even when he was leaving. And what did he do with the ball? Nothing. So for me, his attitude stinks. I mean, even that hairdo, like, everyone's got the right to do whatever. But when you're in the media that much, and your football is coming up under so much scrutiny, and people are turning against you, you go and shove yourself in the media spotlight again by doing something stupid like that. Then you got Pep's daughter. Then you got this. Then you got enough. The football, like you said, the football has left him. He's got a big contract, very, very, very young at age, and he just, I don't want it. If he turns it, the thing is, if he comes back to what he was, you still know in the back of your head, he's got the potential to very easily turn it off again. And you don't need a player that can just switch it on and switch it off and switch it on in such a bad way. So for me, he's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth person that we need to get out the door, and not just for getting him out the door. You take his attitude with him, which for me is a big, big problem in the dressing room. It won't be any more because of Conte, but it's huge. Winks needs to go. Matt Doherty, listen, if he gets a deal, I'll fly back to Canada and give him a piggyback the whole way. I don't care where it is. I will personally, because I don't drive, I'll personally take him wherever he needs to go. And you know what? For once, I'm going to say, what I've said as well is we get so much sentimental attachment to players, or players that have served the club for a long time and whatever, and it's natural to feel that. Now, I have a deep, deep love for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Absolutely idolise him, adore him. I think he's fantastic for what he does on the pitch as well as off the pitch. But if Conte says, do you know what, he doesn't figure in my plans, I want this player instead, I'm going to upgrade, then enough of my sentiment. Antonio Conte, if he thinks something's right for Tottenham, I believe him. So I think there's going to be a few shocks, but Dele, Winks, Doherty will be the ones that I put there primarily. I won't mention Davies, because Davies is doing the job at left back. And the one thing you get with Davies, or left centre back, Davies may be not up to scratch. Davies may not be the perfect person we want there, but we need other positions addressed first. We've got cover at centre back, and you know what? One thing you can guarantee with Davies is he's not one of the people that are spewing poison everywhere and having a bad attitude. So that's what we need to get rid of. We need to address the areas we desperately need, rather than just getting rid of someone like Davies just for the sake of getting rid of Davies.
Yeah. A few comments here. Mark Swift doing my job for me. Hit the like and sub. Absolutely.
2 jobs at once.
Mark.
Look at him go.
Yeah, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the sub, and then obviously when you've done that, go on the description and go to Spurs Uation TV and Tottenham Tour and do the same. Carl Simpson, Doherty had Ronaldo in his pocket last night. I think that's kind of joking. He always plays quite well for Ireland. Maybe that's
what was the score last position.
0-0.
I don't know. I know they didn't win Portugal.
0-0.
That's the Conte effect. 2 clean sheets, eh?
Yeah, and Wayne Bonner, good comment here. I can see Conte keeping Winks for the rest of the season. I think Winks could improve under Conte, obviously, if he gets game time. He also says, I'd also like to see Rodon get more game time, and Scarlett will grow and develop. It's certainly going to be interesting to see who goes. With Scarlett, I think he's 17, Eugene. If he's not going to play, get him out on loan. Get him 40 games a season. Well, it won't be in January. It'll be about 25 games a season. Get him to develop that way. You can learn off Kane, but if you're not playing, you're not going to learn that much. But Winks, I think, could stay. I think if he gets some game time under Conte could get the best out of him again. But same question to you, Eugene. Who do you think are the prime suspects to be going in January?
Coming down to this, right? In summer, we had a whole list of deadwood that we want to get rid of, right? Yeah, it started from A to Z. Okay. We've got, I mean, Sissoko has moved on, Rose moved on, right? Ori has moved on, right? These three players have gone. Left behind that was part of the deadwood list, Wings, Ali, Davis, who else? Even Ndombele. Some of them want to get rid of Sanchez, Dyer, Moon Boots. We've been giving all kinds of names for them, right? But for me, right, how I feel is we can't tell at the moment. I can't tell who Conte is going to get rid of because deep down inside, only Conte knows, right? And I've been watching.
Do you think he'll come in and do a Nuno and it's a clean slate for everybody, and then he'll quickly make his mind up who's the deadwood and needs to go, or do you think he kind of knows who he's got an inkling of? They're probably not.
No, it's all on a clean slate, Chris. Haven't you seen the Vitesse game? You start Davis, right? Everton game, you still start Davis. If it wasn't a clean slate, right, Davis wouldn't be playing, right? But what I'm saying is that only Conte knows who he wants and who he needs, right? And I've been watching the trainings videos from the Spurs YouTube channel and all that. Conte is even bringing in the youth now to train with the seniors that are left behind. Don't be surprised one or two of the youth end up in the first team against Leeds. We never know that. But of course, there's always been this thing said about Conte. He doesn't like to play those who are too young. But we also know that Conte knows that if you're good enough, you're old enough. It doesn't matter how old you are. For Scarlett, Scarlett is 17. I think he needs to go out on loan. That's the best part for him. Go down to League One, go down to the Championship, play 1 or 2 seasons there, build up his body strength, build up his speed, build up his sharpness, awareness, and all that. These boys need to play regularly. The more regularly you play, the more in tune you become, right? Then when you bring them back, maybe you still loan them up to a lower position Premier League team, right? Let them play there for a while to get some Premier League experience, right? Don't forget, Harry Kane went out to 9 clubs for loans before he came back to us to be our top striker. 9 clubs, But that's a bit sad because Spurs always do that, We are not like Chelsea. Chelsea has got, like 300 youth talents and every one of them are spot on, right? They have so many of them until they have to sell them or loan them out first and later buy them back, like Lukaku.
Lukaku De Bruyne as well.
Well, De Bruyne, back, did they? But, Salah, don't forget, Chelsea has sold a lot of them, right? So, but we don't have that youth. I mean, I don't know why we don't have that kind of system that we should have, right, to build up our youth in that sense, right? But of course, Chelsea did a lot of naughty things, right, and got suspended for 3 windows, so not being able to transfer buy-in players and all that.
We have got some good ones coming through, though, haven't we? The Divines, Scarlett,
Mackenday. It's not proven, you see.
Night and day, as I call it.
Mackenday, yeah. Happy Diwali.
That's like you say there. They have to play like Kane did. Go out on loan.
Yeah.
To play.
It goes one big round before he comes back to us, and it takes a lot of time, right? Like what Chelsea did is like, if you're good enough, you're with the first team. But I think Chelsea's business plan is what they do is, right, they pick up all these youth players on the cheap, 3-5 million pounds. When they reach a certain standard, when they're 18 or 19 or 20, right, they sell them for 10, 15,
for profit,
right? And they get a profit. They turn that profit and go and buy a star player. Simple as that. That's their business plan. Yeah. So I see how they do business.
I just want to quickly add on Scarlett. Now, I've been saying for ages, I love Dane Scarlett. I think he's honestly, I keep comparing him to the next Michael Owen. In fact, he's going to be better. But as I keep saying, I want him to start. But when I say I want him to start or come off the bench, I want him on the pitch whilst a Harry Kane or a Human Son is there. Or both. Because every time you put him on, you're getting him to lead the line with a bunch of people that aren't cohesive or whatever, and he's not going to learn. When you've got someone like Kane, like I said it, Owen had Fowler had Rush, Rooney had Van Nistelrooy. All of them played alongside a complete superstar, and that's just me thinking of a few youngsters that have come through. So you look at it, and if he gets game time in the Conference League or Carabao Cup game, when he's playing up alongside those two, when we're like 2-3-0 up, rather than subbing Scarlett for one of them, say, no, we're going to have 20 minutes with you playing with them. So you are going to loan. Now, I think a loan move for him, like you said, is going to be the right way because there's no way he's bursting in, especially if a Dusan Vlahovic comes, especially, which I believe, I don't say we are going to get him. I believe we're seriously interested in him. It's just down to get it over the line.
You know who?
Yeah. And I mean, this is the thing. The stars are aligned that apparently he's coming, and there's only one person that can mess it up. So once again, but if he comes in, Dane Scarlett needs a loan move. He is only 17, but Dane Scarlett going down to a championship team and getting told he's going to get regular game time, I think will be the making of him.
That's far better experience for me than having a game here or there with Kane or Son or for 30 minutes. He needs to be playing.
But guys, my fear for Scarlett is right. Every time he plays with a weakened team, right, and he doesn't perform right, that could hit his confidence. You know what I'm saying? Then the pressure falls back onto him. Then he'll be saying why it falls back into him. When you start losing confidence that young, right? Your confidence in being a striker that young, that might have a lot of this type of effect on him. So I think to a certain extent what Brian says is very true. If you put him in with a Kane or a Son, which can actually deliver balls to him to have him have a shot, prove himself that he can carry the ball and do something with it, right? Instead of just standing around in the third quarter of the field and no balls coming to him, he's just running back and forth, left and right, right? And when the ball gets to him, if he doesn't do something good with it, the confidence level falls a bit, right? So, like you said, if he does get a chance to play, it would be better if he has Kane alongside him, right? Or Son alongside him to play along him, right? But now with Conte coming in, I think maybe January he might even get a loan.
Yeah, I hope he does, because the other thing you get with a loan, maybe not a championship, maybe even lower, he's the main man there. He's never going to be the main man at Spurs while Kane and Son are there. Yeah. And you have the responsibility as the main man to score the goals. I think that'll do wonders for him.
Chris, also, just a very, very quick point there. If we do get Vlahovic, you're potentially looking at a 17-year-old and a 21-year-old that could potentially be your strike force. Yeah, obviously, we'll get to, we need cover for them too if they go spearheading it. But then you look at it, you've got a strike force that could be together for a long, long, long time, especially if we get up to the heights of where we think we will be able to, get to. So Vlahovic and Scarlett sounds like quite a formidable strike force.
Yeah, for the future.
A few comments. We'll come into transfers in a bit later on. Apparently, Conte loves Skip, says Wayne. I mean, who doesn't? You talk about Dele's attitude. Skip seems to be the complete opposite way around. What do you think of the rumours about Onana? I haven't really heard about that, but we'll come to transfers in a bit later on. Mark Swift has said, why can't we buy Edwards back? I mean, you talk about bad attitude. That's what Conte said. Poch said about Edwards, that the attitude was hampering him being one of the best in the world. And Bob, how you doing, Bob? Big up, beautifuls. Playing Scarlet Marks. Mediocre players won't enhance him as a player. I'm a firm believer young players should be introduced to progressive, confident teams. I think we all agree there. And then he says,
just big up to Bob, who's currently with Kimby, Arthur and Iris, the parents of Kimby, who are wonderful, wonderful people that I got to meet last Thursday after I had my We Are Tottenham TV tattoo done. They're and her brother and Kim's brother Glenn. They're a wonderful, wonderful family, and obviously Bobby's family to me. So yeah, big up everyone in the Kimby and household.
We're all family.
They're on your channel quite a lot, aren't they, Eugene? And then Bob ends it with piss off. Where if you give us about half an hour, we'll grant your wish, I'm sure. We've obviously said who's going out, who isn't. We haven't mentioned one guy, which is Kane, who will probably be subject to transfer speculation again, Eugene. But will Conte be able to find the old Kane? I do believe if we get a playmaker, that will help him. Without the playmaker, Kane is having to be the playmaker because he's the most creative player or best passer there. But do you think Conte will find the old Kane? He said during 2020.
I think Chris Conte will tell Kane, right? You better find yourself. I'm not going to find you. I'm not going to find you for you, right? Yeah. You find yourself and perform.
The only reason I mention that is because he said in Euro 2020 punditry that Kane's good at coming to the ball and stringing and play together, which is great. But if I was coach, he'd be in the box because that's where he's devastating. And we saw with Nuno, he was just so isolated, him and Son up top. So do you think Conte will kind of form a system in an attacking sense? Carl said it as well, didn't he? We look so much more solid now. It has to be about the attacking part. So do you think Conte will find a system that gets out the best of Kane and Son as well, and the other players going forward? Whereas Nuno, it looked like they were completely isolated. It looked like he didn't really understand that we had two strikers on the pitch.
No. Sorry to say, right? I think Nuno never had the respect of the squad, so that's why he couldn't get a result out of them. So that's basically it. Conte has, I think, the utmost respect of all the players, right? But I mean, sometimes it's sad to say, the players choose who they want to play for. It's not good on, in imagery style. In the end, you come and think about it. I mean, you're being paid. It doesn't matter who is the manager. You're supposed to be playing for the club, not the manager. But our club culture hasn't been good for the past 5 years, right, since Poch left. So let's see how it goes. Getting the best out of Kane, like I said before, right? I don't think Conte will be going out there and say that I'm trying to get the best out of you, right? But because the best is in you, right? You must find a way to bring it out yourself. But Conte more or less will have a system in place for how he wants Kane to play, right? So in the end of the day, like what Conte has been saying, right? He's been telling the fans to be patient, to give some patience to the players and all that. And he himself has to be patient with the players too. So I think he sees a lot of deficiencies in our squad. So he himself has to be patient with the players too. So at the moment, he comes in 2 games, right? Back to back, international break. So I think, do we have like about 15 players out of international break or 10 players out of international break?
Maybe something like that. It's double figures.
Yeah, it's double figures. We've got them out. So he's left behind with the rest of the boys who haven't gone out, right? So I guess with them stuck with him for about 10 to 14 days, like I said, don't be surprised when we play Leeds, right? It could be a totally different team, for all you know. Totally different team. But one thing is good. If I'm not mistaken, England plays their last match on Monday.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. If they play the last match on Monday
against 5-6 days with Kane.
He gets another Kane and but don't forget Son has to fly back from Korea. That I don't see that. Then the South American boys again might not be involved in that training part. So we'll see. Like I said, I've been the kind of person been saying, we'll wait and see, because there are too many narratives going around at the moment. There are too many people being, thinking about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z, and trying to, build up things in their mind. But in the end of the day, we can't read Conte's mind, right? Only we just can wait and see what is his decisions are. And being a fan, right, that has so much, being so happy that Conte is here, we too must have the faith in him. We must give him some faith, right, to turn this squad around at the moment. Not say change the players and all that, because we're not even reached January transfer window yet. The squad that we have now has to be turned around. That's all. I think that's what he's trying to focus, is that get them up to the fitness level that he wants, to perform in the way that he wants, the style that he wants, right? Now we play as a team, right? We are no more a Harry Kane team. We are no more a Son Heung-min team. Now we are a Conte team, a Conte squad. That every player that goes in and out of this first 11, right, does a job specifically suited and programmed by Conte for them to do. That's all, right? And then the results will come.
Yeah, I mean, do you agree with that, Brian? And what do you think of how Kane will fare under Conte this season?
I agree with the wonderful start to that by Eugene, saying with Conte hasn't got to find him. It's like Harry Redknapp used to say when people were saying to him, "Oh, you're getting in the Champions League. How are you going to keep all these players happy?" And he said, "You've got it twisted. I don't have to make them happy. They have to make me happy." So that's what that's what Kane's got to do now. Listen, Kane has a lot. Let's face it. If there's anyone that's got a lot of credit in the bank with the fans, it's Harry Kane.
Do you think he still has after the whole summer training?
He took a large withdrawal from his credit with the summer fiasco, and then it's been draining. He's about to go in overdraft, basically, with what he's been doing, because we know he's there. We know he's there, and like Eugene said, Nuno came in. When you're the 9th choice manager, you don't have respect for your team. You don't have any kind of respect whatsoever, and it clearly showed. Now, the good thing for Harry Kane is England will hopefully find the old Harry Kane, because they've got, let's face it, without any disrespect, bless you, darling, they have San Marino, I'm making up countries now, San Marino on Monday.
San Marino might do better than San Marino, to be fair.
You never know.
Yeah.
They have San Marino on Monday and they have Albania tonight. Now, Harry Kane is chasing that England target. Let's not get that wrong. And he's got a phenomenal England return. He's going to smash Wayne Rooney's record. We all know that. So he should potentially get a bag for the goals in the next 2 games. Potentially, he should do. If Harry Kane is back or Harry Kane is on the way back, this kind of games are very, very easy for him. It should be the return of Kane. It should be the return of Kane. What we've got to do is, Conte once said, and this is him saying, he goes, listen, when I came to Chelsea and after that Arsenal game, and then he went to his back three, he goes, listen, finding the right team is like getting a tailor-made suit. You've literally tried a suit, and then obviously you have it tailored to what is the best for the squad that they currently have. So literally, that's what he's doing, and he's got to find a way of keeping Kane in the box, because we know that Kane likes to get involved. And don't get me wrong, that's not a criticism of him. He has got one of the best ranges of passing I've ever seen, period. Forget his playmaking. Like when we had Poch when he was dropping deep, some of those passes he made were like Beckham, Hoddle, Gerrard, like literally 50, 60-yard balls spread, like pinpoint accuracy. But the most devastating Harry Kane was the beginning of Poch and the season where we finished second, where he did not do this. He may have dropped into like a Teddy roll, but he did not drop deeper than that.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think the main thing is getting him to stay there. That's the thing, because he's so used to getting involved deeper. It's whether, I think Conte really has to say to him, listen, the width of the goal up to like halfway in the like between the opposition's goal and the halfway line, that is you. Don't leave this area. Like we used to say to Ginola, listen, just stay on the left. But we haven't got the ball, stay in shape, but just stay there. Don't drop it, because we know that's what you've got to try and teach. Okay, Mark Swift not only said big up for your tea, but he said bless you as well, darling. She said thank you, sir. So that's what the issue is. Trying to keep Kane where he's told. And that's, like I said, that's not a criticism of him. He's got to just, if that's what Conte needs him to do for his system, then stop dropping deep, stop going to the left, and stay where you're told. And it's only going to help you, my friend.
Yeah, I think that definitely happens in January. We'll talk about who do we need in January now. And I think under Poch, like you said, Brian, I think because he had Eriksen there, who was the playmaker, he didn't need to come deep because we had creativity in there. We had Dembele, who was able to skim past people. We had width, so he knew crosses were coming in. Now there's no creativity at all, really. So he can't, and even under Jose, he had to come deep because he was the creative one. So I think January for me, I don't know what you think, Eugene, we'll come to you first. January for me, and I've been saying this for about 2 years now, a playmaker is a must. We've sorted out the defence to an extent with Romero, and like Carl said, we look a lot more solid. We still don't have that creativity. Ndombele does it in little fits and spurts. Lo Celso again, Kane when he comes deep, but then like Brian says, you miss something with Kane because he's not in the box to finish off. So a playmaker for me is absolutely massive. Wayne has said about Onana. I don't know too much about him, but I'm assuming, as he's mentioned, Skip there, that's a similar kind of position. But who
Onana's goalkeeper.
He's
the Ajax, PSV or Ajax?
Yes.
PSV or Ajax goalkeeper is in trouble now.
Let's bring in Onana for creativity.
Well, if he's got good kicks, then maybe that will help it be an improvement. But 2 questions for you both. I'll start with you, Eugene, as Carl has just put in a playmaker and a striker, maybe a wide right and a centre back as a bonus. But firstly, who do you think we need? And secondly, do you think Conte will be allowed to buy? Because unlike Jose, Poch, Nuno, they're in a position now, Levy, that if he doesn't give them, whereas those 3 will say, fine, I'll work with what I've got. Conte will just say, well, I'm off then. So do you think he'll get what he wants in January because of
Chris? That is the trigger word you say. You know, whether
you could have wanted 2 better people on your stream right now to ask that question.
Well, it's a debate, isn't it? It's a conversation. So Who do you think we need? And secondly, do you think whatever Conte decides that we need, do you think he'll get them or be allowed to get them?
Very simple, right? I think in the defense side, we do have abundance of them. We haven't even seen Rodon play yet, right? Sanchez is there. I know Sanchez can do some good, right? If he's been trained or programmed properly to play the way that he's supposed to play, right? We have Romero, and then of course we got Davis, right? Which I've never liked him from day one, but I mean, if Conte feels that he's capable, then it's Conte's choice, right? And of course we got Dyer, all these were the deadwood that we were lining up to get rid of, but right, at that moment I don't think the defense part is that much of a serious problem. Maybe on the left wing back or a left wing or a left back player, because we can't get Sessegnon to come up to the standard of fitness to be able to play in the first team. We might have to get one there, but I think most important, like what Carl Simpson says, the most important is the creative midfield, right? The person who can take a corner, number one. The person who can take a set piece, right? We don't have that, We keep relying. That's why I keep asking, why are we relying on Son to take the corners, Son to take the free kicks? Even though Son got a freak one, right? The goal that bounced into the net, right? But Lo Celso can't do it, right? So it's a weird thing. So creative midfielder, I don't know. In the summer we were linked to James Ward-Prowse, right? But somehow or another we didn't get him. He got an extension his contract, and his price from £25 million went all the way up to 50 now, correct? So now the thing is, with this type of scenario, who do you think we can get as a creative midfielder? Do you think Levy will pay the wages for Coutinho to come over? Right? Do you see that? I don't know. Do you see do you see Levy paying £60 million or £65 million for a Dusan? Right? So it comes down to that question again, right? Number one, whether Conte demands for these type of players, we do not know. That's the first thing. If Conte demands for them and he doesn't get them, we know what the next result is, correct? Conte will walk. So if Conte walks, right, and Levy knows what the next result is, right, the whole fan base is going to go crazy, right? Yeah. The pitchforks are going to come out and the torches are going to come out for him. That's all, right? That's how I see it. But for the players coming in, of course, what we need now, to improve our season to go forward, I do believe that we do need a backup striker for Kane, right? I pity Kane a lot because for the past 7 years or 8 years, he's been our only striker, and we keep making the excuse that Son can cover for him. We've got in Llorente, we've got in Jensen, we've got in Vinicius, but these all had bit part. They were all bit part players. So to me, in the day, I think Kane is more or less burnt out at the moment. So that's why I see his performance are dropping like that. And then with all the final losses as he's gone through, like the Champions League final hits him one time, the League Cup final hits him another time. And I think the biggest hit to him, right, was the Euros final, because it was in Wembley, it was home ground. And
weight of a nation on his shoulders rather than just a fan base of a club.
Chris, he was the captain. You get what I'm saying? So I think it plays a lot on his heart. So now I think Conte coming in, hopefully, he can find the key to open back his heart, straighten this back up here for him, and I think we'll be getting back the goals. But for the long run, I hope we get 2 more strikers. At least remember in the 90s and early 2000s, we used to have a Berbatov, a Keane, a Defoe, a Crouch, 4 strikers, in our team and all that. What happened to that, right? Now we're stuck with one, Harry Kane, and we hope for him to do magic, right? To score every goal, that every kick he kicks is going to turn into a goal. Come on. It doesn't work like that, They are human too, They're not machines. We're all human. Right.
Yeah. A couple of comments. We got Barry Ambrose. Completely agree with this. January signings need to be done in the first week. Never happens though. Never happens in the summer either. But absolutely agree with that. Carl Simpson said, "I'll never understand Lo Celso for Argentina. He's as important as Messi, but for us, it just doesn't click." I think that's got to be something where for Argentina, he knows he's playing every game unless he's injured, and he's in a system that obviously suits him. Whereas for us, it's kind of trying to fit him in. Mark Swift has said for him, Centre back, centre midfield, left wing, striker. Do not trust Eni with this.
That's the answer. Okay.
Brian,
Other question.
Brian's now trying to cheer himself up with sunbathing as well.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you because Eugene was going on about the lighting. That's my lighting, brother.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's my lighting.
Yeah. And you're on the second floor or third floor?
Third floor.
Yeah, I'm on the third floor too.
Third floor, yeah. Third floor, second floor. Well, there's there's 3 flats and we're on the top. And maybe I'm on the second floor. Who knows? I'm on the third flat.
But yeah, in terms, I just want to make a point of the left wing. Veguion's come out in recent weeks, in recent days, saying that he spoke to someone at Inter, I can't remember who, but asked, what can I expect with Conte? And this guy who plays as a left wing back as well just said, you will improve. So I think with that, I'm not sure we need a left winger. But for me anyway, a centre midfielder playmaker is the most important player we can get, and then a backup striker. But yeah, for you, who do you think we need? Who do you think we'll get? And do you think Conte will walk if there's any pushback from Levy saying no?
Okay, I like that last question.
Yeah, we're waiting for that pushback.
As I said on Eugene's channel on Wednesday, because we got into a debate, there's quite a few of us, and they're talking about what we need and what we'll get. They're 2 different things. What we need as a necessity, without a shadow of a doubt, is 2 players desperately, which is Dusan Vlahovic, and I'm not even going to mention another striker. It's him. It is him. For age, for his quality, for what he can bring, his physique, his stature, done. He has to, because Kane has not. Let's face it. Vinicius, Janssen, Llorente have not been up to scratch. That's not their fault. It's just been the quality that this parasite has brought in. That needs to be addressed. With not just you look at Liverpool, where they have Mane, Firmino, Salah, who, quite frankly, are predominantly one of the most fearsome top 3 anywhere in Europe right now. But what did they do last season? Okay, let's freshen this up and keep on their toes. Let's bring in Jota. And you can see what's happening. Not only has Jota settled in, but they're playing out their skins at the moment. So Harry Kane needs not just someone to say a backup. I'm not using that word with Vlahovic. I'm using the word competition. Serious competition. To keep him on his toes and go, right, there is someone here. I don't have to just turn up and be fit and I play. He desperately needs competition. And the other position we desperately need is that playmaker. Yes, there's other areas I think we need, like we need another centre-back. We need more strength in depth, basically, but a centre-back to go with Romero, to really make that like a Jan and Toby kind of partnership. But the 2 positions we desperately need right now, and if we just get those 2, like, was it Wayne Bonner or Cole that said playmaker, striker and a centre-back would be a bonus? That is bang on the money. I think it was Cole. Yeah. That is absolutely bang on the money. It's a necessity. What we need right now. In the summer where he's got longer and then he can really dissect what you need. Let's face it. When you look at defence, yes, the defence is not up to scratch at the moment. We would like more strength in it. But you have Rodon, Tanganga, Sanchez, Dyer, Romero. That's just 5 to begin with. So they may not all be as good as Romero up to that quality, but all 5 of them can do a position. If we have to go splash serious cash on those 2, that's what I want. Dusan Vlahovic, I actually want as my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. If we just got a Dusan Vlahovic, yeah, I'll be pissed off that we haven't got any more. But the fact that we brought Dusan through the door, we'll be like, okay, that's a huge step. That's a huge step. Now, we get to the point where, and I haven't mentioned a centre mid pet because there's loads of options. And we just need someone with a bit of class. I mean, people go on about, and I keep saying this, Coutinho has fallen off a cliff. But in England, we know what's there. And if we were to get him on loan for the end of the season, no obligation, I'd rather have a Coutinho in where we got no creativity than not have a Coutinho when we carry on like it is. So
what would happen with that is that players would make runs because they know there's someone there who can ping it 50 yards, and therefore he looks better because he'll be constantly in those games playing those passes right to side stuff.
And you've got to remember how good Coutinho was at Liverpool. He was incredible. Magical. I'm sure he would give everything to come back in England and revive his career. I mean, there were rumours yesterday that scored on and I understand this one, that Antonio Conte, apparently he started to, not him as in the guy at the top, started offering him people like Eden Hazard on loan. And Conte said no straight away, don't want him. And apparently that was because he didn't work hard for the team. And if Conte was worked with Hazard and got the best out of Hazard and saying no, then hell no. Okay, so that's fair. If the players don't come in, I don't think he'll walk in January. I think he'll be very, very pissed off. And then if it doesn't happen in the summer, he'll be off. But one thing I will tell you, if it doesn't happen in January, Conte may not go, but I will be coming in February. And that's a guarantee. I will be back in February, and I will be back standing outside the club shop and protesting even harder than I did before. Because this is what normally happens where, woohoo, we got Conte, let's party, let's celebrate, and all the Levy-inners and Levy whatever are like, oh, look, he's really turned the corner, he's really doing this. I'm like, you idiots. I don't mean idiots. I'm like, don't swallow this. Let's wait and see. He's made the step. He's kept everyone quiet, or he thinks he's kept people quiet for now. Let's see if he does what he says. Let's see if he does what he says. Because if I remember correctly, Aston Villa, he made an announcement that he was going to sign an attacking defender, attacking striker, attacking manager that will play open, expansive, and attractive football. Didn't happen. We get to spend what we bring in. Didn't happen. And did you see the report that came out yesterday to see how much people could potentially spend with FFP regulations? Okay, so I'm gonna read to you. This is from FFP rules. Where is it? Let me get it. About the amount of teams, the amount of money people could potentially spend without breaking FFP in January. So I'll pick up a few things. So the Aston Villa can spend 5 million without breaking FFP. West Ham can spend 71. Leicester 79. Leeds at 99. Newcastle 166. Burnley 171. Arsenal 201. Chelsea 241. Manchester United 243. Liverpool 273. Tottenham Hotspur 400 million can be spent because of what we've been doing without breaking FFP. And here's the, I don't know if you can see it probably because of the sun. No, you can't, but I'll post it. Yeah. That's potentially what we have in the bank to spend, according to these reports, without breaking FFP. So that's in the bank sitting there. Let's see what's spent, shall we?
That's true. Yeah. Most probably it's not in the bank sitting there anyway. It's gone somewhere else.
Yeah, it's building some property. It's probably building a garage on my third floor balcony for the car that I don't drive. Yeah. Camera off, just whilst having a cigarette. I'm still here though.
And last question, I'll start with you, Eugene. What can Conte achieve this season? And also a sub kind of question. Do you see it as a short-term or a long-term appointment? He's obviously got 18 months, which I'm not sure how much you can actually change completely in 18 months. And then people will know that I've been banging on about this, that Pochettino's contract ends in 18 months. So I'm convinced that he's coming back and Conte's here for a short-term kind of thing to win a cup. But do you think with Conte it's a short-term thing, win a cup or just get us back on track? Or do you think it's short-term in the sense of get us back on track this season, summer, have a real good go with the 400 million or certainly a couple of 100 million that Brian mentioned there, and then in the summer try and do what Conte does and then win a league from a team that were mid-table? Or do you think he's going to be in charge of the rebuild, that 18 months will be extended? And I've kind of waffled there. And what do you think he can achieve this season?
I think Conte can at least get us one of the cups, right? We're already in the quarterfinals of the Carabao, right?
Yeah. Not sure you get 400 million viewers, but you should definitely be checking.
If we spend that 400 million, right, I'll be doing an 8-hour stream. How are we going to spend that 400 million? But that will never happen. Mark, you know that. We know that. All the Spurs fans know that. But the 18 months contract doesn't play too much on me at the moment because if we do get a cup along the way and we do get another cup along the way during the end of his tenure, right? And if Levy doesn't extend his contract, right, I think the fan base will go crazy too, right? You already have a successful manager there. I mean, you should follow up with the momentum. Why do you cut it off and bring another manager in when you have momentum? Which is, that's very, very, Levy-ish to do it, right? He does things very weirdly. But like I said, if he doesn't get the support, Conte will walk, right? Even before 18 months, he will walk, right? So let's see how it goes. The achievement that we can get now at the moment with our squad, I will say we'd be very lucky. We can get one of the cups, maybe the Conference League and maybe Carabao Cup, right? And around top 6 would be nice for us. Around top six would be nice. It will be a good position for us to be in top 6, right? But this season feels a bit weird because teams are dropping points around. Chelsea drawing, Liverpool losing, and surprisingly West Ham is somewhere up there with the top 4. So we have to see, and of course with Ole still at the wheel, Manchester United doesn't look much of any threat at the moment, right? But there's a lot of rumors going around Ole wouldn't be at the wheel anymore longer, right? But we're not going to focus on other teams. We have to focus at our own club, Spurs, right? Conte was brought in because of what happened in the stadium during the Manchester United game, right? That really hit him bad, okay? So he made a reactive reaction by sacking Nuno, bringing in Conte, which he knew if he brought in Conte, right, 90% of the fan base that was harping, we want Levy out, okay, will jump back onto the fence and wait and see, right? So, like I said, whatever he has done, he's put himself or painted himself in a corner. If he doesn't make the proper decisions along the way, right, and if Conte does bring us a cup or two during his tenure, and he does remove Conte and bring in another manager, if he brings back Poch, don't forget, if you already have a system that's successful, you end it and you bring in another manager in. It doesn't matter who comes in, whether it's Poch or whoever, right? You're breaking that trend, right? And then the new manager, even if Poch comes back in, he has to re-implement his ideas. He's not going to play Conte ball again, right? He has to retrain them again. Why do we have to go through that again? Why just renew his contract, give him a bit more money, right? Give him the players he wants, and then he can continue. For all I see, right? If Conte is successful, I don't even mind Conte being with us for the next 10 years or so. If he's successful, if he can give us the glory on the pitch, right? Okay, because don't forget, one of the very first few interviews that Conte did say, right? We have all this beautiful stadium, the infrastructure, right? The training grounds, right? But we are not showing it on the pitch. So we have to show it on the pitch. That's all, right? So I believe Conte could be a long-term solution for us. Maybe 5 years, 6 years, 8 years. Who knows, right? Until the day comes when you know who crosses him and he will walk. That's all, right? And the best part, right? Conte is a type of manager. He walks, right? That means he resigns, right? The club doesn't have to compensate him. Don't forget, sacking of Poch, sacking of Mourinho, sacking of Nuno. We've at least spent £40 million in just compensation for managers. Isn't that a waste of money?
Yeah. Well, Barry Ambrose said 400 million. That'll pay for the building of flats, hotel, diving tank, and go-kart track. I don't get Brian seething at that. Wayne Bono has said if they bring Conte in and then back him, let him bring in the players he wants and needs, then we put in a challenge for top 4 and cups win. I'm not sure, Wayne, is that this season, next season, or both?
No,
because I think it can be both.
Chris, I'm saying Conte is coming in, right? Not going for top 4. Conte's mind is not fixed on getting top 4. Conte's mind is fixed in winning the Premier League. That's what he does. He goes out and win things, right? He doesn't go up and aim for positions. But maybe this season, yes, because he came in halfway, he knows that he can't push that far. Maybe, yes, okay. He might be targeting for top 4. He doesn't get top 4.
League is done for this year, definitely. But I think it's... like Wayne says there, to try and get top 4 this season, maybe win a cup, and then in summer go for it and then try and do what Conte does. Mark Swift has also said, and I agree with this completely, sub to Spurs Eurasian TV and Tottenham on Tour. Links are all in the description. But Brian, what do you think? Conte generally doesn't stay at clubs for that long, so I'm a bit hesitant to say he is a long-term appointment, and obviously the mention I put of Poch there coming back. But what do you think? Do you think he's a long-term appointment there for the rebuild, or do you think it's a short-term to try and win a league, maybe certainly win a cup? And what do you think he can achieve this season? Wayne has also said this. Sorry to cut you off there.
That's right.
This season is where he starts laying his foundations. Do you think that's the case? And then he's going for league next year, and everyone that I want in the summer. Short term or long term for you?
So first of all, just like Eugene said, he doesn't have a track record of staying with teams for long, but neither did Pep Guardiola before he came to Man City. Everyone thought every single time, right, this is last season, he stays. I'm not saying he will be, but there is a point where there will be a manager like Conte that will commit to a club. If promises are kept, maybe he will. Maybe he will. It all hinges on that. Let's not get this round. It's what Conte will do is he will guarantee. I mean, next season, I guarantee we'll be challenging for the title, guaranteed.
Really? Does that mean you think that 400 million will be close to being spent, or what Conte says I need, Levy will get? Or do you think it's just the way that he'll completely change the players and how we play?
So what I think it is, I mean, when I say challenging for the title, I mean not just challenging for top four. I don't know if we'll sustain a challenge for the title, but I think for a lot of the season we'll be in the conversation, and then we might just drift off. But I'd rather be mentioned as challenging for the title rather than challenging for top four. That's the difference that Conte will deliver. He will change us from being a top four candidate or a top four challenger to a Premiership
title.
Competitor. So I don't think he'll spend the 400 million. What I think he will be able to do, I think finally we have someone where, let's say we said Dele Alli, if Parasite wants 50 million for him, and then we have an offer for, let's say, 25, 30 that I don't think we'll get, but this is just numbers. I think Conte will have the clout to say, I can use that 30 million elsewhere to stop you spending that 400 million. And then they go, oh, yeah, like someone said, build flats and build this and build that with that other 400. So that's where I think he's going to get a lot of, they may say I'm chucking in whatever, you need to make up the rest. And it's going to be, well, let me sell the players that I can get out the door for the money I can use to spend elsewhere, rather than your wild transfer evaluations. This season, do you know what? All I hope from Conte is, don't get wrong, I don't think we'll be challenging for Conference League. I think it'll be a Europa League and maybe a late push for Champions League. And that's only because he hasn't had a pre-season. He has not had a pre-season. And not only that, players are coming back from the long season. It was the first COVID when we're still playing in July. Then a full season last season at random times. Then a Euros. Then straight back into Tottenham. So I think this season, if he could just unite the Spurs fans like he did with Poch, when Poch literally got all the fans together. Yes, people, I'll still believe you and I'll still gladly sing it, but I will back the team and back the manager. And if he can get those players feeling loved and respected and wanted again and feel that they're going somewhere, he has the potential to do everything. I mean, why not go for a cup treble like Liverpool did when they won the UEFA? I think it was still UEFA, the FA and the Carabao Cup. Well, we're still in all three. We got West Ham. That's going to be a huge test for him, because now we're coming into, once they come back on November the 21st, we all know it's non-stop till mid-January. Like literally non-stop. And he's got to use game management and start looking, like I said, these 2 weeks, not only is he looking at the players, he's thinking, right, these games I need maximum points, or he needs maximum points from all, really. But the ones where he has to, if he wants to really start climbing up the table and change the outlook on the club. Until January, he's seriously got to look at that squad and think, right, you're definitely playing in this game, you're definitely whatever, and in this game I give you a rest. And all managers are doing that right now, but they don't have the lack of depth we do. So this season, it's a free hit for him. Yes, I want to get to finals, and I think we will get to a final because of Conte. The Conte effect will happen. But if we just get to a final and win a trophy, I'm going to be over the moon. I don't care which one of the three I will be, because that's all I want. I want Spurs to have a big, shiny silver trophy. And I said again on Eugene's show, we used to take the piss out of Arsenal when they went 8 years without winning anything, 7 years without anything, 6 years. We're like, 8 years, anyone fuck all. And here we are at 13. Here we are at 13. So we're over 50% of their 8 years. It's unacceptable. And that's what I expect from him. I don't want to say, right, you've got to get us in the Champions League. Right, you've got to do this. Win a cup and make us competitive again and challenging for the top 4 and get us Europa, and then it's a success. And then next season, I expect top 4 as a minimum. But that's all based on Parasite backing him. But that is the thing. It doesn't matter what we say all times. As much as yes, I do have an agenda. All roads lead back to that man, and we know that if he gets what he wants, he will win. He will win. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. It's just a case of if he is.
Yeah, well, I think we're all guaranteed that we're in a lot better position. Thinking about Tottenham than we were under Nuno. And no disrespect to Nuno, he's a nice guy, but I think it's the wrong fit. And like you said, Brian, the players will have respect for Conte. That goes for players coming in. It's completely different to saying, "Oh, Nuno wants you to come in," to Conte wants you to come in. But exactly. I think January is huge. I think not just you don't automatically get all the players that you want, but it will be an indication to Conte when he says, "I want a player," if Levy's going to back him or not.
Well, you got to remember, Chris, as well. Sorry, in January, if he's backed, that's the hardest market where they're more expensive. So if he does do it, although Dusan is, what I love about Dusan is he said he's not on the side of another contract, but look how he's playing compared to like how Harry Kane is handling this situation. So Dusan is one that is easier to get over the line in January because obviously he's not signing a contract, so his value is dwindling. But if he does go and back him in January, it's a clear indication to him, like, okay, he's doing it in the harder market. Yeah, but then we also know he did this with Tanguy and Dembele just because he hadn't signed anyone for 3 windows and then went AWOL again. So, like I said, everything leads back to him. It's out of the manager's hands, to be honest, which is not a thing you want to say.
No. But yeah, unfortunately, we're out of time. But yeah, it's been. I mean, sometimes when there's an international break, you haven't got a game to talk about. It's like, what do we talk about? But I mean, there's so much to talk about with Spurs, and always. But yeah, thanks so much to you guys. Always coming on. Eugene, I think, has been on every Friday channel. It's early next week, 11 o'clock, because I'm out in the afternoon.
Okay, I can say no to that. It's 6 a.m. So you can cast your unless my cat wakes me up.
Yeah, but so it might just be me, but hopefully Eugene will be on.
I'll be around. I'll always be around, Chris. Don't worry.
Excellent. And just before we go, all 3 of us got Spurs stream, so obviously hit like, hit subscribe on here, and keep watching the replays and the podcast that will come out as well. And then when you've done that, go on to Spurs Eurasian TV. Eugene, where can people find you?
On YouTube, Spurs Eurasian TV. I think I'm the only Malaysian Spurs channel at the moment, right? That's doing live shows. Guys, we're just a bridge for the home fans, right? So we get to meet a lot of the home guys there. We're trying to link up with all the guys around the world. We are very international now, right? Spurs, right? We're all over the world. We got people doing shows from the side of Asia. We got people doing shows from the side of Canada, North America. And of course, a lot of people doing shows from United Kingdom and especially in London itself, right? Guys, don't forget, of course, smash a like, right? Subscribe to Chris' channel. Let's Talk Tottenham, Talk Tottenham, and of course, Tottenham on tour. You're down here. Tottenham on tour is nice. Chris is this side. Yeah, Tottenham on tour is this side. Right, guys. Good to be on, Chris. Don't worry. You do it at 11 your time is about 7 p.m. my time, so I'm still around.
Okay,
I'm okay.
Excellent. Yeah. So hit like on here, then go to Spurs Eurasian TV, subscribe to that, and then go to Tottenham on Tour. Hit subscribe there. Brian, where can people find you?
Well, first of all, Chris, don't do your stream at 6 a.m. My time. Stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning your time, and then it's much more conducive for me. But yeah, first
I'm giving you a rest, Brian. I always mention Levy, so I'm giving you a rest.
So the first thing is, I have to say, it's good to be on the bottom of here, because when I say subscribe to these two, I can just go like that, and you're both above me. So much easier. So much easier. So yeah, just follow these two. That's brilliant. I like that. So yeah, none of this nonsense. But yeah, you can find me on Tottenham on Tour. We've got a lot of new stuff coming up. We've got 2 Brians coming out tonight, where we're going to have Rez from the Shelfside Spurs and maybe a couple of other Shelfside Spurs boys. I'm meeting with Brian today. We're going to be discussing, like I said, a load of new content and loads of new ideas that we'll be releasing shortly. But yeah, if you agree with what I say or you don't like what I say, either way, come and join me at Tottenham on Tour. We're growing and there's a lot more to come. But most importantly, and I can do it so easily, subscribe to these two.
Excellent. Yeah. Yes, 3 channels there. They're all in the description. Well, 2 are in the description.
The other way. These two.
Watching it. But yeah, no excuse not to go to Spurs Eurasian TV, Tottenham on Tour. Hit subscribe there. But yeah, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. You get a notification when we're going live. But yeah, back on Monday. I'm not sure what we talk about on that one. It'll be how is Tottenham's season going so far, and then what do we imagine for the rest of the season?
You should do it on the international. You should do an international roundup on all the players.
Yeah. We'll do what Brian said. We'll do something. 8 o'clock Monday, 8 o'clock PM, and then obviously back on Friday a little bit earlier, which will be the preview to the Leeds game.
Yeah, 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. Stay up, everyone.
Yeah.
I have to stay up.
Well, it's all on replay, so you can watch it later at any time around the world. But yeah, cheers, guys. A pleasure having you on, as always. And until next time, come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out.
Thank you so much for watching. For everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @Talk Tottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 PM, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come on, you Spurs!